People are insane. I mean, not Joe Exotic insane, but almost there. I'm seeing celebrities like Cardi B backing Joe, setting up a GoFundMe to get him out of jail. Joe's Old Zoo posted this on their Facebook. One of the nicest guys in the world, Shaq, FaceTimed a few minutes ago to see how we were doing and if we needed anything. We love you too, buddy. What? Do people not get that Tiger King showed people who harm animals for their own profit? There's no good guy here. Joe Exotic was found to have shot several tigers who were too old to profit from. The guy Shaq is FaceTiming was arrested for stuffing tiger cubs in suitcases. Now, not every reaction to Tiger King is that tone deaf. We've heard from LeBron James, Trae Young, Garrett Temple, and others, and we'll get to their comments, but Shaq is on a whole nother level here. He was actually in Tiger King. The series was great about showing how harmful exotic pet ownership can be, and Big Diesel says in a clip, he owns tigers.
Shout out to Exotic Joe. I got 2 more tigers.
In this video, we'll show you exactly what the hell is going on, what some big NBA names thought about Tiger King, and the absolute mess that Shaq is in because of it. Hey guys, it's Casey Kiernan, host of the AM Hoops YouTube channel. Hit subscribe and hit notification bells too because it really helps out the channel. Obviously, there are no NBA games to talk about. We are talking Tiger King, but there is a lot to dig into here. It is obviously the most popular show in the world. 34 million people watched Tiger King within 10 days of its release. That is slightly less than the most watched NBA game ever. Game 6 of the 1998 finals. Coincidentally, we're getting a documentary about that too, very soon. LeBron James watched Tiger King. He said, quote, "Pretty much anything that has the word king in it, I pretty much watch. Tiger King, Lion King, all the kings. Yeah, I do all that. I watched them all." How about Trae Young? He's from Oklahoma, where Joe Exotic's zoo was, where most of the docuseries takes place. The Hawks just had their very first team meeting on Zoom, and Trae's teammates were kind of giving him crap about it. He said, quote, "They were all talking about the Netflix show Tiger King and killing me about this Oklahoma stuff and asking me lots of questions. It was fun, hadn't gotten to do that with them in a long time." Trae's coach, Lloyd Pierce, was not asking any questions. He has his mind made up. A writer from Atlanta tweeted, "I asked Lloyd Pierce if he thinks Carol killed her husband. Without a doubt. Give him a lifetime contract." People are so against Carol and with Joe, I don't get it. There doesn't have to be a good guy and a bad guy in every story. They're all bad guys. Garrett Temple from the Brooklyn Nets is spending his time in quarantine wisely. He is studying to become a lawyer, which is amazing. He also has enough time to both study to be a lawyer and watch 6 hours of Tiger content. By the way, he loved it.
You're on the couch watching Tiger King and seeing that Joe Exotic, this dude from Myrtle Beach, and then the lady in Florida, all of them have 200 tigers, and you didn't think maybe we need more lawyers out there clearly?
Nah, I didn't think about that. It's insane though. That is insane. I mean, the fact that he had 227 tigers, and then at the end of it, they showed that he really got into it, talking about people shouldn't be breeding these tigers. They shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that. By the end of it, he was cursing out the tigers and the lions and ready to acting like he was going to shoot them. If y'all have not seen Tiger King, it's a very interesting documentary. It, yeah. You must watch it. We have nothing else to do, so take time. If you have Netflix, check out Tiger King.
Our last guy before we get to Shaq is JJ Barea, a legend in Dallas. The Maverick point guard won a title with them back in 2011. Similar to Vince Carter, his last season was just suddenly cut short, which sucks. The only positive is apparently more time to watch Tiger King. He loved it. He said, quote, "Man, I was impressed with how many tigers and how many cats are in the United States. I didn't know it was that much. And just the craziness of people and tigers and cats in the United States. It was wild." You know what else was wild? Seeing Shaq in that docuseries. He has gotten a ton of heat since it came out, and especially after this FaceTime incident. Well, Shaq tried to set the record straight on his podcast. He denied having anything to do with the Tiger King guys. First, if you don't remember, Shaq comes out in the docuseries. He gave Joe Exotic a shout out on Inside the NBA, which is insane. It's a huge national show.
All right, yesterday on my day off, I went to the GW Zoo. Shout out to Exotic Joe. This is Shaq, here with my main man Joe. And Joe just gave me this tiger for a present.
I got a bigger one in the front yard if you want to play with it.
Those paws. Should change his name to Shaq, Joe.
Here, get back in. Here, get back in here. Get back in here.
There are clips of Shaq at the zoo bragging about owning tigers.
I got 2 more tigers.
So it looks like Shaq is a big supporter of these guys, who is a tiger owner himself, supporting the business of tiger breeding. But then Shaq came out on his own podcast to defend himself.
I pull up to the zoo. You see a guy, he says, hey, I'm the owner of the zoo. Want me to show you around? I say, yeah.
Sure.
When I found out he was doing all that stuff, I got away from it. I can't have my name involved. But the little thing came out. And yes, I did go in there and say, hey, I visited the thing. I bought 2 tigers. I did say that, but don't treat me like I'm affiliated with this guy and hurting animals. I don't hurt animals, but I'm going to hurt your ass if I see you, if you say something to me.
Are people really spinning this like that you're a person that would hurt an animal?
Yesterday. Yes. I'm like, are you kidding me?
It was on the ESPN scroll yesterday.
Yeah. No, I didn't realize that was being spun like that.
Oh, yes.
That Shaq was somehow tied up in all this.
Yes.
I didn't even realize that.
Well, him and Joe Exotic.
And apparently today, TMZ, a letter from PETA or something. I don't know.
But spinning it, there's no spin. The dude literally says that he bought tigers. He got 2 more tigers. There's no spin. Part of the problem, not the solution. But Shaq says he actually doesn't own tigers. I guess he was just saying that for the camera. And he basically laid out his whole relationship, and it sounds pretty harmless.
Well, how much time do you spend with Exotic Joe? That's what America really wants to know.
The time, remember when we was
There's a lot of stuttering going on right there.
Listen, man.
In OKC?
OKC. So remember when OKC was playing San Antonio?
Yeah.
You guys were flying, but I was driving. So on the way there on the highway, I saw a sign that said Tiger. So I went. That was the first time I went. I went, said hi, went, gave him some money. Give me a couple white tigers. That's when I came back on the show and said, hey. And then I think we went to Oklahoma City one more time. So only saw Joe once. This is Shaq, here with my main man Joe. The second time I went, they was like, hey man, you don't think you should come back? A lot of stuff is going on. And I never went back.
So do you still have those tigers, man?
I want people to understand. When I say I own tigers, I always go to these zoos and I make donations. And then they'll say, okay, these are your tigers. But the tigers never come into my possession.
So I totally believe Shaq when he says that. It's a perfectly logical explanation for the phrase, I bought a tiger, that still doesn't explain his relationship seemingly with Jeff Lowe, who posted on his Facebook that message. Remember them FaceTiming? We love you too, buddy. Lowe is a guy who put tigers in suitcases to take them into hotel rooms in Las Vegas for private cub petting parties. He had a business to shuttle people around with cubs that were found with many health issues, severely underweight, extreme diarrhea, etc. Eventually, he was arrested. Now, there's a lot more shadiness to this guy. Lowe even posted on Instagram that they're business partners. At best, they're friends, and at worst, it looks like Shaq could be an investor in Joe Exotic's former zoo. It's like, Shaq, what are you doing? There's no upside in this for Shaq. There's huge upside for Jeff Lowe, right? He gets to publicize his business. There's a reason why Shaq's on so many commercials and people pay big money to put Shaq's face on their products is because people trust Shaq like he's a friend and you would take a recommendation from a friend. It's like, people wouldn't assume that Shaq would hang out with someone that shady. So not only does it publicize Jeff Lowe's business, it legitimizes it too. And even PETA is getting involved. That's actually not a surprise. They told Shaq, quote, "It's clear that you love tigers, and we hope you will disassociate yourself from people who profit from abusing, breeding, and exploiting them. As long as he continues to use your name to support his abusive business, you will be tied to animal suffering." Shaq has not come out to defend himself against this specific accusation because there may be some truth here, and this guy may be able to prove that Shaq not only is his buddy, that he is maybe even bankrolling, in part, that zoo. And if that's true, that is bad. And I hate to break it to Shaq, this probably isn't going anywhere because Tiger King is still hugely popular, and unfortunately, we still don't have any NBA games to watch. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.